Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card video. Today's card is mostly die cutting. I'm using this spiral flower by Simon Says stamp. It's a really delicate die. I'm also using this basic stitched edges set by My Favorite Things. I'm going to start by taking my flower and I'm going to cut 6 of them out of some neenah Solar White cardstock. And I'm going to leave 2 of them white, and then I'm going to color 2 of them with squeezed lemonade. Now I actually meant to color the cardstock and then die cut it, but I completely forgot. I don't know where my head was. So I'm coloring it afterward, but it's much easier to color it before. But just by kind of pouncing onto the die cut, it colored pretty easily. And I'm not trying to put too much color down, so it worked out just fine. This is tumbled glass. I just wanted my flowers to be very, very light colored because I'm going to put them against some dark cardstock. And if they're too dark, then they won't stand out against that dark cardstock. Now I'm taking a piece of A2 size neenah Solar White. I'm measuring 2 inches from one side and 1 1/4 inches from the other side. So I'm going to do that one more time on the other side. That's 2 inches and then 1 1/4 at the top. And that's going to be where my stitched lines are. I've oriented my cardstock such that the 2-inch lines are at the bottom. I'm going to place my die over those 2 pencil marks, run it through the Big Shot. There are stitch lines at the top and the bottom of this die, so I'll get it either way. And then I'm going to do the same thing with those 2 pencil marks that were 1 1/4 from the top. And I'm just going to remove that middle piece, and that's where my flowers are going to go. And you can see here how these pieces will fit together. So I've positioned all of my flowers. I've left the top piece on so I could see how far down I needed to go with these flowers. Notice that I've kind of mixed them up so they're really in a random order. I'm just going to cover the bottom to make sure that the whole area is covered with my flowers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pencil marks so that when I pick it up off this cardstock, I'll be able to put it down exactly in the right position since I spent a bunch of time getting it just right. So once I've got these pencil marks made, I'm going to take a piece of masking tape. So it's a pretty large piece. I'm going to cover the flowers, but I'm going to leave the bottom ones off the masking tape. And that way, when I put the flowers back, I'll be able to see those flowers where I had made the guidelines, so I know exactly where to put it back. So now when I flip this over, I'll have that white piece on there, so I'll just carefully remove it. And then I'm going to take this piece and put it over some scratch cardstock. I'm going to cover the whole thing with some two-way glue. Now it took me about a full minute to cover this whole thing. I'm using it very, very quickly because I don't want it to dry. This glue dries pretty quickly, but I found that the two-way glue is really the easiest way, the most secure way to get your dies adhered to cardstock. So I just did it really fast and I didn't have any problems with the glue drying too fast. But you can see I'm moving quickly here, and I'm going to grab my Night of Navy piece and I'm going to position it right over those pencil marks that I made before I picked it up. And then I'm going to really press down over my masking tape to make sure that my flowers are secured to my cardstock. And once I feel like they're pretty set, I'm going to remove my tape. And I was really surprised how easily this tape came off. And I think a lot of that is because these die cuts are really intricate, so they're really light and delicate. Now, if you find that a piece didn't adhere very well, like I saw one little part that didn't adhere very well, I just grabbed my two-way glue pen and I just carefully picked up that one area that didn't stick, and then I just brushed it on the underside and then pressed it down. And there was just that one area. Everything else stuck pretty well. Okay, now I'm going to cut off the excess flowers off the side with a scissor, and my navy piece is ready to go. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the bottom white portion. I'm using this Sketchy Banners Greetings stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. I just wanted my sentiment to be really small. So I'm going to use Night of Navy ink so that it coordinates with my cardstock in the back. And my ink pad is pretty dry. I don't have a lot of re-inkers, so I just stamped it twice to make sure I got a good impression. So I'm going to ink it up one more time and stamp it down. I wanted my flowers to be recessed in the card, so I'm going to pop up the white panels. So I'm going to put some Scotch foam tape on both of the pieces, and then I'll peel off the backing and adhere them to my Night of Navy piece. And then I'll take some ATG tape runner, put it on the back of that piece, and adhere it to a card base. And that is the card for today. So again, a clean and simple card today, and something that's pretty easy to make with mostly die cutting. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.